Jacy from Craft Life, and I'm here today to teach you how to make a Rainbow Loom fortune cookie. And these are great for Valentine's Day or any day. And the supplies you will need to make these are rubber bands. Today I'm using Mango Rainbow Loom rubber bands, but you can use any color you want to use. You will also need a Rainbow Loom hook or a crochet hook. And last but not least, you can put inside a little fortune. So if you have any leftover fortunes from fortune cookies, you can use those. Or you can make your own like I'm going to be doing today. So I just cut out a little piece of paper and I'm going to write my own fortune on it. So please get your supplies and we'll begin. To begin, we are only going to be using our hook. So we're going to start by taking one rubber band and we're going to twist it around our hook. Next, we're going to take a rubber band and we're going to pull it through, slide it up, and place it back on. Now we're going to do two more of these. So pull this through, slide it up, place it back on, and take our last one, pull it through, slide it up, and place it back on. Now we are going to need to connect this side back to where we first started, or these two loops at the end. And so we're going to take another rubber band, pull this through, slide it up, but we're not going to place it back down yet. We're going to go back to where we first started and we're going to place our first two loops back onto our hook. And then we're going to place this back down. So now we've created a circle. There's a little circle in the center of it. But now we're going to do a tight row. So in this pattern, there's going to be a tight row and a loose row. And we're going to start it off by doing a tight row. So to do this, you're going to pull one rubber band through. And for your first one, you're just going to place it back on. But for the rest of them, you're going to pull a rubber band through. And you're going to find your first two loops. So here, place it back on. Grab another rubber band. Pull it through. Turn it a little so you can find your next loops. So these are my next ones. Place it back on. Grab another rubber band. Pull this through. Grab our next two. Place it back on. And I think we are back to where we started. So on this one, we're just going to pull it through and place it back on. So now this is the center of our fortune cookie, and now we're going to create a loose row. And this row I find a bit easier. We're going to pull a rubber band through, place it back on. Now we're going to pull another one through, and we're not going to place it back on yet. We're going to find the closest loops, not our next ones, but our closest ones. So these two. And place it back on. Because here we are adding more space to the circle, we're not going to keep it tight. Instead, we're making it loose. So we're going to pull another one through, place it back on, pull another one through, find our closest loops, place it back on, pull one through, place it back on, grab another one, find our closest loops, and place it back on. So basically what we are doing is we're just going to add two rubber bands each time. So here's our first one, and here's our second one. But instead of placing it back on, we're going to find the loops right next to it, and then we're going to place it back on. So pull your first one through. And pull your second one through. Place it back on. And you're just going to continue this until you've went all the way back to where you started. This is going to take a very long time, but in the end it is definitely worth it. And now we are ready to make another tight row, and this row will sew all of these loose edges up, and then we're going to need to continue the pattern. So we're just going to take one rubber band this time, and we're going to find our next loops. So these two, place it back on, grab another rubber band, pull this through, find our next loops, place it back on, pull this through, place it back on, and basically for this stitch, all we're doing is adding one rubber band each time, and we're grabbing our nearest rubber bands and placing it back on. And you're going to continue to sew up all of your loose edges just like this until you get back to where you started. Now we have gone all the way back to where we started, and I just want to say that the beginning is always the hardest part, but once you start going around and you get used to it, it becomes much easier. And now we're going to need to make a loose row to loosen our rubber bands up. So we're going to pull our first one through, then we're going to pull our second one through, and we're going to grab our next rubber bands and place it back on. We're going to pull our first one through, place it back on, and pull our second one through. Grab our nearest loops and place it back on. So I'm going to show you one more time. You're going to pull your first rubber band through, place it back on, grab your second rubber band, pull this through, and grab your nearest two rubber bands. And you're going to continue to loosen up your rubber bands all the way around, and then we're going to tighten them again. Now I'm back to where I started, and I just want to tell you that the loose row is what makes it larger, and it does look a little silly, but then we're going to sew it all together with the tight row. So the tight row is there to bring it all together and make it one piece, and it also makes it nice and round. So when we finish our fortune cookie to the size we want it to be, we always want to make sure that we end in a tight row. So now we're going to do another tight row. We're going to pull one rubber band through, grab our nearest loops, and place it back on. So we're going to grab one rubber band, pull it through, and grab our next two. Grab one rubber band, pull it through, and grab our next two rubber bands and place it back on. And you're going to continue to tighten all your rubber bands all the way around so you give it a nice round look. We just finished off with a tight row, and now you're gonna do a loose row, and then you're gonna do another tight row, and you're just gonna continue this pattern to make your circle grow larger. And you can make yours as large as you want it to be, but I'll be right back to show you how large I'm making mine. I've just finished creating my circle, and I ended on a tight row, and mine is 3 inches wide. So when you are making yours, you can either stop right when you get to 3 inches or make it larger. Now, we're going to take one more rubber band. We're going to pull this through, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other to create a slip knot. Now we're going to add on another rubber band to this for sewing purposes. So we're just going to pull that through, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other. So now we have a strand of 2 rubber bands. We're gonna start by folding our circle in half, like this. And now you just wanna find the center, so right about here for me. And I'm gonna pull my strand through, just like that. And now I'm gonna find my center. So mine is right here. I'm gonna stick my hook up and pull my strand down. Now we're going to place this loop on our finger, and we're just going to fold the bottom of each side, and we're going to make them touch to a point. And then from this side, I'm just going to stick my hook through at the top. I'm going to pull my loop through and place it back on my finger. I'm going to bring them back down to a point again, and I'm going to stick my hook up at the top here. And I'm gonna go straight across. Now when you look, you wanna make sure that you're not gonna pull your strand right back down. I'm not, because I have a rubber band between them, and I'm just going to pull my strand all the way through, like this. And now I'm going to do it one more time. And I'm gonna pull it right back through. So now, yours should kind of look a little something like this. And I'm gonna add another rubber band to my strand. So I'm gonna pull it through, like that. And every time your strand is low or short, you can just add another rubber band like that. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna find on the side how high we want our closure to be. So on this one, I stopped it really high at the top here, and I left a big opening. So on this one, I'm going to start right about here. And what you want to do is you're going to go underneath the sewed up part. So don't even grab any loops from it, just go underneath it. Pull your strand through. And now for the rest of them, you're just going to go straight across, pull it through. Straight across, pull it through. And mine is getting short, so I'm going to add another rubber band again. Just pull that through. And here where we first sewed it up, just make sure that you're sewing it up again. And continue to sew down to the same point on the other side. Now you want to make sure that you sewed underneath the top row so you have it like this all the way around. And I like it better that way. So now we're just going to make another slip knot from the inside. So I'm going to make one right here. I'm going to pull my loop through, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other. Now I'm just going to bring the strand on the inside and tie these two together. Now once you are done with that, you can just tuck them in. So I'm just going to pull them all the way straight across. And now they are hidden. And if you want to put a fortune inside, you can always make your own like this. You can open it up and stick it in and have it sticking out the side like I have it here. Or you can even fold it up and place it inside. And if you already have a fortune from like a fortune cookie, you can also place that inside. But now you are finished making your fortune cookie. This is what they look like when they're done, and these are fun gifts for your friends and family for Valentine's Day or any day. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you make some, I'd love to see them. My Instagram is CraftLifeUSA, so please tag me in a photo. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, put it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you're living a craft life just like me. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!